Bell on Cheddar News, everyone. Well, once certainly a go-to destination for home goods, Bed Bath & Beyond struggling now simply to stay afloat, reporting a $358 million net loss in its first quarter, and in June, announcing it's replacing its CEO, Mark Tritton, and a number of other executives in an attempt to reorganize its top management. Well, this weekend, we got the tragic news from the retailer that his chief financial officer, Gustavo Arnal, died on Friday. He was recently named in a lawsuit accusing him of fraud, together with the activist investor and GameStop chair Ryan Cohen, who sold his nearly 10% stake in Bed Bath & Beyond back in August. So joining me now is Thomas Hayes, chair and managing member at Great Hill Capital. Thomas, it's good to have you on the show. So Bed Bath & Beyond recently eliminating some of these executive positions, including the COO role, operating under an interim CEO currently, and then today naming its accounting head as the interim CFO in the wake of that tragic death. Amid all of these leadership changes that we've seen, where does this leave the company?
Well, I think they're in bad shape, Kristen. Unfortunately, retail traders would have followed Ryan Cohen into a paper bag, and in the case of Bed Bath & Beyond, it turned out to be a sandbag. And it's really sad because Ryan Cohen made out with $60 million of profits, while many of the Wall Street bets and retail traders wound up with a loss. And if you think about the business, looking at it, when's the last time you or anyone you know bought anything from Bed Bath & Beyond or Bye Bye Baby? I mean, it reminds me of Pier 1 Imports and Men's Warehouse. It's not a good situation. As you mentioned, last quarter, comp store sales, they plunged 23%. They've got $107 million of cash left as of last reporting. It's probably lower now. Their debt's $3.2 billion. And what's curious about the whole situation, Kristen, is the fact that, Ryan Cohen owned 7.8 million shares of the stock, plus he bought 1.7 million shares of or options that had strike prices of $60 to $80. Now, what about a business that had sales down 48% since 2017? Would encourage you to think it would be a five-bagger and you'd buy options 4 or 5 times out of the money.
Yeah.
And, his plan was to, sell off the Bye Bye Baby, and it was growing at double digits. But it seems suspicious to see that far out of the money call options. And I think that kind of brought a lot of retail traders in who didn't do well as a result of that.
Yeah, and I think another unfortunately tragic story when it comes to the retail trader getting caught shorthanded on the wrong side of this trade, certainly a meme stock that we've seen over these past few years. The company is trying to turn itself around. Thomas, of course, announcing some restructuring last week, laying off 20% of its staff and closing 150 stores. For people who still shop there, is there any hope that the company can turn itself around?
Well, look, they've gone from 1,552 stores to about 900 stores in the last 5 years. That hasn't helped turn around the company. Selling, it's interesting, they're selling 12 million shares of stock they want to sell, which would raise about $100 million. That's $86 million less than they spent on buybacks in the last 12 months. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. They bought back $11.7 billion of stock since 2004. 264 million shares. That strategy hasn't worked because they've got 79 million shares left and the price is in the tank. It's only a $550 million market cap company. So, this has really been a tough situation. They're going to have to sell Bye Bye Baby. They're going to have to raise some cash, but they're going to have to show some operational discipline and have a serious turnaround plan for equity holders to be left with anything when all is said and done. So it's just curious. With the short interest where it was, with the prospects of the business, why someone would buy call options at $60 to $80 is beyond me, and then dump the stock just a month later.
Right.
So I hope this new management can do something promising for the business and for the consumers who actually still buy from the store. But the outlook is a little bit grim right now.
So let me ask you about that, Thomas. For any retail trader who got caught on the wrong side of this trade amid everything you were just describing, I know obviously there is a federal class action lawsuit against Arnal, who did tragically die over the weekend, but also Ryan Cohen, as you're mentioning, accusing them of federal securities fraud, insider trading, artificially inflating the stock price as well. Where does that go from here?
Yeah, I think the number one thing retail investors need to know is you have to know what you own. You saw the sales declining 48% over the last 5 years. You saw the stores declining by 33% over the last 5 years. You know, you see this big name Ryan Cohen come in and buy options 400 and 500% outside the money. You have to ask yourself, what's the plan? And, you know, Jeff Bezos once asked Warren Buffett, if what you do is so simple, why doesn't everyone do it? And Warren Buffett replied to Jeff, because no one wants to get rich slowly. And I think that's the lesson of this. You're trying to follow this guy into the stock, hoping that a really bad business can become a really good business really quickly by some miracle. Or even worse, you're expecting the short squeeze and you're trying to play a structural play to get rich quick. And those things usually don't work out well. Understand the businesses you own, buy high quality businesses when you're on sale, and you'll do okay over time.
Step by step. Always, I think, a good reminder for anything in life. Thomas Hayes, Chair and Managing Partner at Great Hill Capital. Thomas, thank you.